Hi, I'm Patricia from Trisha's Lovely Creations. Welcome to my creative space. Today we're going to try rub-on transfers on polymer clay. And here I got me some scrap blue pearled clay that I've made from scraps. And I've taken and added more pearl to it to make it a little bit lighter. I've also added a little bit more white. So I got a really light blue here. And I've taken my piece, rolled out onto a setting 0 on my Atlas pasta machine, and I've doubled it here, and I'm just kind of taking it and flatten it just a little bit more, but not too much, because I want it to be pretty thick for this. And here I'm just taking some cornstarch and rubbing it on my piece. We're going to make a mica shift here, and you can use whatever you've got. I've got this here that I've made, and I'm going to use it today. So just making sure I've got the cornstarch on there pretty good. I'm going to take and press this into there. And then I'm going to roll over it with my roller. Making sure I get a good impression. Try to make sure that it don't shift. And it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to cut that down. Just cutting off the excess is all I'm going to do. Making sure it's going to fit. Looks good. It's going to stretch out anyways when we run it through the pasta machine again. So if it's going to fit like this, it's definitely going to fit once I run it through the pasta machine on a setting 2. So and then I'm going to take my tissue blade and I'm just going to scrape the top off here. Nice and flexible. I love my tissue blade. Getting rid of that extra cornstarch. And then I'm just going to skim that top off there. They just wanted to stick to everything. It didn't want to come off my finger. Trying to do this on the tile is really hard too. The tiles want to slide as I cut it along there. So that's not making it too easy on me. I should have found my extreme tacky stuff and made some dots to hold it down, but I didn't think about it at the time. You can see where it's still raised. I'm trying to get that. Just about done with it here. I think I went a little bit deep there, but not too bad. Get this last corner here. A little bit more in the middle. Just about done. Okay, I think that's got it. Alright, I'm going to find my other blade here, pick it up, and I'm going to run it through on a setting 0, actually, is what I run it through. So on a setting 0. After I run it through on a setting 0, then I'm going to run it back through on a setting 2. So I'll go from 0 down to 2. And here you can see a nice subtle mica shift. Yeah, it's not too bright, not too dark. It's just right, I think. I like how it came out anyway. So I'm going to kind of look here and see where I want to cut my piece from. And find my spot, push it, twist it, get a good cut. Peel the rest of it away. And now I'm ready to stick that in the oven at 275 for 1 hour. And this is my little test piece here that I was trying. I took the smallest butterfly for this. And just kind of put it in there, rub it a little bit. Get my little popsicle stick and go to town on it. So yes, the answer to the question, rub-on transfers do work on polymer clay. That is what I used. And I'm very pleased with the results. So I thought I'd show you both of them here. So this one, these were very old, very, very old transfers. I picked them up at my local thrift shop for 59 cents. Couldn't pass it up. I love rub-on transfers. So I went ahead and picked them up like 3 years ago, and I had this planned for that long, and I'd put them up and just now finally found them again. So I was very pleased that I found them so I could do this tutorial. And like I said, I'm very pleased with the results. Very happy. So, yep, just lift it up a little at a time and make sure you got it all transferred onto there. No problem. So I'm going to take and resin that. My other piece is done and out of the oven. So I've let that cool down. And now I picked out my butterfly for this one. But I thought with this one, I'm also going to add a stamp. And I found one that I really like. It says Believe. And I think that's going to look good on there. Okay, but before I get too ahead of myself here, we need to rub on the transfer. And this one goes quite good. Seems to be easier to get this one on than the other one. I don't know why, but it was. But I just love this one. So I sped it up so it don't take too terribly long to show you how to do it here. It's just nice even pressure. Go all around it. You check it, lift it up. Keep a hold of it though, just in case you got some that hasn't transferred. Just slowly checking it, and it looks good. So there we go. Now I've got my little MISTI mat here, and I got a sticky mat. And I'm just going to place my pendant on there, so it's not going to go anywhere. I'm using Stays On ink, and I got my stamp. I'm just going to place it where I want it. Find the spot. It's just perfect. Close the door, sticks the silicone stamp to it. put on my Stays On ink, and just to make sure, I do a test stamp on paper, and I don't like the look of it, so I'm going to try that one more time. And I still don't like the look of it, so I'm going to clean that off with some water and a towel, making sure I get any lint that's on there off of there, because it looks like there's lint on it. I was getting kind of a blurry line, so I'm going to test that one more time now that it's dry. Looks much better, nice and crisper. So here we go. I'm going to stamp that down on the pendant. Even if you don't have one of these, I recommend doing a test on paper to make sure that if you're going to add this, do a test print on paper first before adding it to your polymer clay base, because this stuff really does stay on. So now I'm resining with Lisa Pavelka's Magic Gloss. I forgot to show it, but that's what I'm using today. So just getting rid of the air bubbles there with my lighter. And I'm doing the edges first. And then I will fill in the rest after this is cured. Okay, now that's out of the UV light. Gonna do the insides of that and pull that all the way to the edge. I don't really want to mess too much around the ink, just in case it decides to just spread and blur, because I have had that happen before. So I put it kind of thick over the leaf that's stamped there, and then go into my edge. But yeah, I did put quite a bit there. So I'm just taking that and pulling it over the edge of the first round we went. Making sure I get it all covered. And I kind of get real fidgety with this, because this is, hopefully going to be my last coat. I don't want to go any further than this if I don't have to. So making sure I get rid of all the bubbles. Making sure that I'm on that edge real good. Turn it around all sides. Make sure that I have it good and covered. Have found some lint, so I get rid of that. Go over it with my lighter to make sure I get any air bubbles out. Just checking it again. It didn't look like it was covering good there, so I added a little bit more. When you go and add it definitely a little at a time. You don't want to do too much where it's going to flow over the edge. That's annoying. So just making sure I get any lint that's in there off there. I've seen a few pieces here. Making sure all the air bubbles are gone again as I push it around. Seeing one that just don't want to come up. Okay, so it's out of the UV light. Now I'm going to sand the back. Well, there's how it come out. And you can see what the back looks like from baking on the tile. And I'm going to start out with 400 grit. Do 600, 800, 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000. So, and I'll do each of those, you know. I always work longest with my 400 to get all that down as much as possible. And then work it out with my 600 to make it even smoother. And then I don't spend that much time on 800 and 1000, but then the buffers I spend a little bit more time on the 5000 and the 10,000. Okay, they are both done. They've both been resined and are good to go. So now what we're going to do is drill our holes in the top for the pinch pails that I'm going to use. I don't know if I've showed you guys the drill that I've started using, but this is it, and it's got a speed selector on it. I really like it. You can buy this not too fast, but I like to put it on setting 3. So I'm just going to drill my holes here. And I use a small drill bit. If I need the hole to be a little bit bigger, I just take and kind of twirl it around in there to make it a little bit bigger. So I like to go through the front, and I like to flip it over and also go through the back to make sure my hole is good and clean. That looks good. On the bigger one, I'm using a bigger pinch pail, so I'm going to make the hole a little bit bigger. So I just kind of eyeball where my middle is. Flip it over and go through the back. You can see I'm kind of moving it around there, making that hole a little bit bigger. And go back to the front and do the same thing. So just going around that hole, making it a little bit bigger than what the drill bit is. Sorry if you can hear all that noise behind me. We are having a thunderstorm at the moment. I love thunderstorms. Okay, and that'll do it for that. Alright, I got everything out I do believe that I need to make this. I got my pinch bells out, my jump rings out, my claw hooks are out. I already got the pinch bell on the small one. Here's how I open it up. The big one is really hard to open, I guess because it's bigger. So I like to use my pliers on the inside and spread them out, and it seems to open it up real nice. So you just open it up and then pinch it back closed with the pinch pails. Here I've cut my cord already to a length of 17.5 inches long. And I'm going to flip it around here so I have the ends here. And I'm going to put the ends on. And I'm going to show you a little trick I like to use with these. Sometimes they're a little bit tricky. If you go to look them up, they are fold over cord ends, crimp ends. I found them on Amazon, and I will try to remember to put the link in the description box below, or link to my influencer page that will have it on there. But here I'm using my crimping tool, and I like to grab it on the other side, just slightly, and it folds it over pretty good where you can get a hold of it with the pliers and finish folding it over. Easy peasy, no problem. And I'll do the same thing with the other one. Just make sure that you've seen what I was doing. I'll show you how to do all of them. That way I know you got it. So just fold the one end over. You can also use the, sorry about all the dings. My camera keeps going off. You can also use the crimp tool to crimp both sides over, as far as that goes. But sometimes it leaves a mark in the other side, so I don't really like to do that. But you can totally do that if you like. When I first started using them, that's how I was doing it, was with my crimp tool on both sides. But I don't like how it leaves a mark in the middle of the back half. So now I'm putting on my jump ring. I believe that is a 6mm jump ring, if my memory serves me correctly. And I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring and open it up. Slide my cloth clasp on there, slide the end of it on there, and twist it closed. There we go, that one is done. Hands don't want to cooperate today. There we go, all nice and done. And now we'll do the other one. So like I said, I already have my cord cut, 17.5 inches. I'm going to put it through my bail. And I'm going to take my fold over crimp ends here. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Take my pliers. And I find it's easier also to use bent pliers while doing this. Before I had them, yeah, I used the crimp tool all the time for both sides. And whatever's easiest for you that you find works, do it. So just thought I'd give you some more options there. Another nice new, use for the crimp tool. It's been my best friend since I found that thing. I use it for a lot of things. Pinch that side over. Try not to lose your cord. And I gotta try to get it back in there. Go from the top down. That worked a lot better. Pull it through a little bit so it's not in the way of the hole. Finish pinching it closed. Grab my crimp tool. Bring it over a little bit. And then finish crimping it closed. And now I will put on my jump rings. I've got my 6mm here. Twist it closed. My 4mm here. Twist it open. Put on my claw clasp. And then put that through the hole. And twist it back closed. There we go. Easy peasy. Nice and easy. So here they are, both finished and all done. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you. If it was, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And also would love to see you in my Facebook group and share your creations. So, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to ring that bell.